Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the comprehensive yet informal study of Kant's critique of pure reason. We are back in the transcendental logic, in the subsection known as the transcendental deduction, which is I don't even know which one is called the transcendental deduction. Probably this, but I'm probably this. And we're in chapter 2 of the transcendental
Yes,
deduction.
part 2, division 1, book 1, chapter 2, B,
Yeah, the B edition. Uh,
section 20.
Oh
yes,
my god.
which actually this might be more relevant than a lot of these other things because section 20 is not even found in A. Neither is I think section 15 through 20 something is not found in A. B he broke it up to make it more comprehensible, which is always helpful, especially when Kant and he has big walls, so it's nice to break these up by topic to better understand. Um, and so in the last sort of mini section, subsection 19, we were talking about objective judgments versus subjective judgments and the role of the what was the word here? I already forget the copula,
Copula.
um, and kind of what how that is the substance. Well, maybe that's not a good word because that has a ton of philosophical baggage. Is the consistency of the categorical judgment, which the logicians don't really go into according to Kant. At least the logicians at his time. I don't know if they do it now. Maybe not. But Kant goes into it, and that's what we talked about last time. And now we are here, which this is another kind of statement for a title, but it's called All Sensible Intuitions Stand Under the Categories as Conditions Under Which Alone Their Manifold Can Come Together in One Consciousness. So last time we were seemed to be more on the judgment side of things with the copula. Now we're going to look more into intuitions, which if you don't know what those are, you shouldn't be here at this point. Go back to the transcendental aesthetic, or probably better yet, the introduction. Or maybe not. Maybe just the transcendental aesthetic is a good place to start. The introduction kind of assumes you know things for some reason, which we also looked. So go back further to the beginning where we talk about sensible intuitions and how they relate to and differ from concepts. This is all necessary to understand what we're doing here in the transcendental logic and the transcendental deduction. So that's my introduction, and this is only a paragraph, so we should probably get started so the introduction doesn't outweigh the content in terms of time. Unless anyone has any other questions or preliminary
Nope, I
comments,
agree with you.
okay. Does anyone want to read this paragraph?
Uh, sure, why not?
Cool.
The manifold that is given in a sensible intuition necessarily belongs under the original synthetic unity about perception, since through this alone is the unity of intuition possible. That action of the understanding, however, through which the manifold of given representations, whether they be intuitions or concepts, that's interesting. I didn't realize that a manifold could include concepts until this moment.
Damn, yeah.
I guess
Oh,
manifold here,
Means the result of op perception, like completely.
I suppose, well, he says the manifold of given representations.
So that's just kind of
Well,
what
wait,
he's
hold on,
talking
that's
about, right?
not, but that's logically inconsistent, right? Through which the manifold of given representations,
Oh,
right?
concepts. Oh wait, concepts aren't given.
Yeah, that doesn't make any
I'm
sense.
guessing he's misusing given here.
Or using the other sense of given, right? Like
Yeah,
manifold of like any given manifold of
that's what I mean. Like
representations.
I think he's like just being
Here's the thing,
inconsistent.
though. For some reason, I really don't think he is.
What makes you say that? Or is
Yeah,
this just
it's,
like an intuition you have?
maybe it's like because when we say
uh,
given, you usually mean like given. Wait, no, you can go. What are you gonna say?
because Kant hasn't used doesn't use language that way, right? He's used the words given representations multiple times to mean intuitions, but he's never said any given blah blah blah. I think that's an English idiom, first of all.
Hmm. Yeah, Kant is German, so.
So
Forgive me
I,
for
I
doing
think it's
that.
an English. I think it's an English idiom, which the translator probably wouldn't give, and he
Yeah.
certainly wouldn't give in this weird modified form where it's ambiguous. And multiple times he's used the terms given representations. So I'm caught between two principles of interpretation here. One is to interpret things generously and not say that he's made just like a fairly obvious contradiction in the way he uses his own words.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, doing that just does not seem consistent with the way he has used language to this point.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um. If
so
you.
regardless, I can't make sense of it if it is a contradiction, obviously. Um, if it's not a contradiction, the manifold of any given manifold of. Well, see, this is a real problem. Because is he now saying that a manifold can be concepts? Like, is that a thing
Uh.
in Kant now?
Manifold of given represent. Oh wait, no. I think you're reading this wrong. Manifold of given representations. So okay, that's still fucked up for the concepts part, but I don't think he's talking about manifold. He's talking about given representations.
That action of the understanding through which the manifold.
Of given representations, whether they being given representations, not manifold.
But it's a it's a manifold of given representations.
Well, why would
Which
they
are
be?
all
Isn't
So
manifold a
the whole
singular?
clause, so the whole no, but the whole clause of given representations is technically an adjective, right? It's a manifold. That's the actual object of the sentence. That's the actual noun. What kind of manifold is it?
Okay.
One of given representations. So it doesn't make sense to talk about the given representations without talking about the manifold in the context of this sentence.
I don't know.
But isn't there being given representations in the manifold a given? Like by the nature of it being a manifold?
Yes, no, but the problem is we've been up until this point in our entire study, we've been operating on the understanding that a manifold is of intuitions.
Yes. Which would be given representations, but not concepts.
But that's the
Right.
problem.
But
Whether
then
they
he
be
says
Yeah,
intuitions
yeah.
or
intuitions or
concepts.
concepts.
Yeah, which is
So
That
that's
doesn't.
it's whack.
so
That's whack.
I'm just thinking that I can't give like a grammatical like the defense of this, but intuitively it just seems to me that like he's talking about given representation, which is still weird
Oh,
because concepts are
which given representations? Which given representations?
intuitions or concepts.
But like literally, what would he be saying about given representations?
Wait, can a concept even be a given representation?
No.
No, it's
But
Yeah.
but
spontaneity.
he's saying any given representation. So like we're to avoid a contradiction in what Kant is saying here, right? We're saying that by given he doesn't mean representations which are given to us, but rather any given representation.
So what he's
Okay?
saying, but what he's saying
But
about the given representations is that they're brought under. Oh no, but that's the manifold. Okay, is
yeah,
brought.
that's what I was telling you.
Okay.
Without it, there's no sentence. That's why I was saying it doesn't like grammatically make sense. So
Because if it were talking about this, it would have to say are brought under. Okay. No,
so
you're
we're caught
right.
in a pickle here where we either have to radically redefine one of Kant's core terms,
Which would
or
also
admit that he's yeah,
fuck up.
or admit that he's like making a complete contradiction.
Yeah. Okay, those are our options. I wonder if this further paragraph will let us determine this. So maybe let's keep reading and we can come back to it. Is the best answer I can give right now.
I'm gonna operate on the assumption that like he was just nodding off or really sleepy when he wrote or concepts and like cross it
Just
out, and then
delete. Okay.
everything like if we cross out the parentheses there, the whole thing would make
That would
sense.
also be if we're doing what you're suggesting, that it would make sense with the title of this section.
Yeah, all sensible intuition. So like, why the hell is he talking about like a manifold of concepts? Yeah, and then he says, therefore, all manifold, insofar as it is given in one empirical intuition. So he talks about it again as if it consists entirely of empirical
intuitions.
intuition,
Okay,
which
yeah.
is
Let's just cross that out
also
then.
exactly what we've been. So I feel like he was just, I don't know,
Eepy
really
ass Kant.
sleepy.
He
He was
forgot his
just.
coffee. His servants
He
didn't
was
bring him
just, he was
coffee.
just like, I
He's
don't care if
drowning.
it's intuition or concepts, whatever. So, yeah, he was drowning. His servants forgot to bring him coffee. Friend, I'm drowning.
Consequences of drowning. Concepts are now given representations.
Yeah,
Fuck.
the manifold. Evil can't be like.
Evil copy like concepts are given. Intuitions are spontaneously spawned.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, I think we just literally have to ignore this parentheses as not making any sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna continue now.
I want
Awesome.
to ask Dr. Lee about that. Maybe I'll write him an email after this. Let's see what he thinks about this.
He's always going to be generous. He's going to be like Kant is a genius. He's not going to solve the problem, and he's going to be like, no, he definitely meant that.
All right. I kind of want to wager money on this now. What will Dr. Lee say about this? He'll probably just be like, "Oh, scholars have been arguing about this for like 200 years."
I don't know. This is like, look at the way he talks about the manifold in every other sentence, and like in the sentence immediately after this, and the way he uses given, and all the mental gymnastics we would have to jump through for this to make sense. It probably just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty.
That action of yeah. So I'm going to start from that sentence again.
Yeah.
That action of the understanding, however, which through which the manifold of given representations, and then there's something scratched out, is brought under apperception in general, is the logical function of judgments. Therefore, all manifold, insofar as it is given in one empirical intuition, is determined in regard to one of the logical functions for judgment, by means of which, namely, it is brought to a consciousness in general. But now, the categories are nothing other than those very functions for judging, insofar as the manifold of a given intuition is determined with regard to them. Thus, the manifold in given intuition also necessarily stands under categories. And once again, he just keeps using given intuition, right? Given intuition.
Yeah.
He's
It's
he's
definitely
very clearly again
concepts
and
have
again
no
using
fucking
given.
role in here, except if they are referring to the
Well, yeah, I mean, like there are
the
concepts after it's a manifold already,
yeah.
and we synthetically combine it.
Yes, but
But
that's
but
exactly where it comes in is when the it's when it's brought under the understanding, and we synthesize it using the logical functions of judgment. That is the only appropriate place where concepts should even like come up here.
yeah.
So okay,
Okay.
well, in the actual terms of content, ha ha ha. Yeah, so it seems like we're making some progress here. We've talked about the before this, right? The copula that makes up objective judgments, and now we're talking about how empirical intuitions, or just sensible intuitions, empirical intuitions, pretty sure the same thing if I'm remembering correctly. How they're brought under the synthetic unity of perception through the
Well, according to they shouldn't be the same thing, but I think he probably is using them to mean the same thing.
yeah,
They
that's
shouldn't be the same thing because sensible intuitions logically should be those intuitions which stand under
including time and
sensibility.
space, right?
But like sensibility is literally just the faculty for intuitions.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a complete redundancy to say sensible
Sensible
intuitions.
intuitions, yes. Whether or not he means that or not, you can include the two pure intuitions as well, time and space. The greater point being here is that they are brought under the logical function of judgments. But this is interesting because what was just the logical function of judgment that we were talking about earlier, the categorical judgment that kind of says things is and are, and has that important copula of is and are, and and that thing there, that copula, that is important, and sensible intuitions are brought under it. So I wonder if this is how they're made objective. That's my guess. But I find it interesting how they're right next to each other, and that's why I kind of guessed that. Also, I was taught Kant earlier, so that also contributes to my guess. But who knows? Maybe he throws in some extra things here. Maybe I'm just wrong. Um, but we'll see.
To me, it seems like he's still not solving
No, he hasn't
problem
solved
so much
anything.
as like
But what I'm
he's just
saying is he's
saying
setting up the pieces here. Like we have the
yeah,
copula, and now we have the empirical intuition, or just intuition in general, being able to be brought under the empirical, or being able to be brought under the logical functions of judgment, which, like last time, includes that copula aspect. So, yeah, I just think we have an interesting setup here for a combination of those things to create objective validity for certain judgments. But again, that's my guess. The pieces are there, is what I'm saying. That's the one thing we can for sure walk away for, and we'll see where it takes us. Are there any other comments at the end of this also short paragraph long thing, which was extended in our study by this strange fucking thing, which I will likely email Dr. Lee about because it's kind of funny, and I want to talk to him again. Lonely.
yeah, I don't have anything.
No.
Harrison, any questions, comments?
I think I don't want to keep us on this any longer, but I guess
No, it's
thing
probably
is so.
important if you have a question. It'll be helpful.
So it is brought under an apperception in general. It's logical function judgments. In regards to logical functions of judgments, but that means which namely is brought consciousness in general. But now categories are nothing other than these very functions for judge. It's he's just restating that. Well, I guess it feels like restating for me because we went over it.
Yes.
We went over
in
it in
211,
section
but he's
13
just
specifically.
If you think he's restating, he's probably restating.
he's just he's just saying the thing he's already said, which is
Yes.
that categories are the very functions for making judgments, and we combine. Okay, he's okay. I have no questions.
Great. Cool. Yeah,
Cool.
let's end it here then. Thank you for joining us. I hope all of your sensible intuitions are brought under logical functions of judgment, and you can have a awesome synthetic unity of pure perception using your understanding based, which is what you're doing for watching this video. So keep doing that, as next time we will cover remark, which is like strangely short after we get these fucking like sentence long titles.
He's like two statements, and he's just like remark.
It's so ominous.
Yeah,
Remark.
doesn't bother elaborating after elaborating. So
Remark.
Vine boom. Kant, if you were writing in 2024, remark. Vine thud. Oh my god.
I think if Kant started writing in 2024, he would just stop because people would bully him too bad.
Yeah, no, he probably would. Yeah, probably would. Yeah.
Just be like, I'm not reading all that LMO.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, he'd probably get stones thrown at him on his walk by bullies. No good doers. Ne'er do gooders. They're gonna be in the alleys, waiting for Kant taking his autistic daily walk before he goes back and gets more coffee from his servants. Yeah. So next time we have remark, which actually looks fairly long. So we will see you for that.
Until next time, don't drown out there, friends.
Don't drown out there. Don't make mistakes. Please proofread God, or else you'll have a thing like this. That's another important meta lesson of today's study session. Scratch shit out like this if you ever write something down like this. This is pretty bad. We'll see what Dr. Lee says about this. I really want to see his thoughts. So we'll get back to you on that as well if we get that in time for the next session. So, this has been Matt, Pat, and Harrison in the Comrades Yet Informal So
Matt
if
Pat.
you're reason, yeah, it's Matt. Get the little
But
reference
that's
there.
just a theory.
A
A
critique
theory
of
of
your
all a priori synthetic judgments.
yeah, that's just a critique of pure
I can't
reason.
believe we didn't arrive at Matt Pat points already.
I thought we did, like, this has been going on for like a year. I thought the very beginning we did last year, but maybe not. Maybe not in recording. Maybe that was just a private little banter. But we're here now. We're here now. We're at the remark now, and we'll see you next time for that. Bye.
Yeah.
Remark.
Bye.